feel really emotional. I think that video just really puts it into perspective. Sort of the feeling, I think, that was on the bridge, and I think probably everybody here is here for a reason, that they care and they want to learn more about this and what's really going on. Yeah, the bridge was just something incredible. I really can't even put into words how I felt, and it wasn't just how I felt. I mean, you can see it in the video. There was so much love and so much unity and peace amongst everybody who was there. And I guess I should probably start a little bit from the beginning of how I got involved, which was that a friend had gone to, when they did the ceremony in London with the coffin, and they tried to bury it in Parliament Square. And he told me about it, and that was the first I heard of XR, and then I said, wow, that sounds amazing. And we looked into it, we went to a talk, we had to travel a bit to go to a local talk, and we did some NVDA training, and I'd been involved in Greenpeace before and did a few actions with them. And then we said, well, okay, we've got to start it, so we sort of decided with a few other people that we'd known from Greenpeace to start this local group, and then before we knew it, we sort of coordinators, and then we were running NVDA, so non-violent direct action training, and we had a general meeting and got some more people involved, all in preparation for April. And I ended up being on the bridge for a week, and I'd gone with the intention. I knew that arrests were important in protests, so I knew that was what I was willing to do. And from pretty much the first day of us taking the bridge, it was so exciting. We started in the morning. There's a church just by the bridge that had actually let us use their space, so that's where we were allowed to sleep, and they let us all congregate there and meet and plan our action for the day. And we were basically turning the bridge into a garden. And I was out waiting. They'd asked some people to come to bring trees onto the bridge, and that's where the first bit started. So apparently a couple of trucks blocked the road and stopped more cars from getting in. And then they opened the trucks, and they were full of trees, and then they got all the strong people to wheel all these trees out to the bridge, and it just suddenly, we just took over the bridge. And then I was waiting with a group of other people by the church, and somebody came back and said, "We've got the bridge!" And all of us were like, "Oh my gosh, wow!" And then our job was to go and take all these plants and flowers to the bridge. And when I got there, it was just incredible. There were all just to see an empty bridge in the middle of London without any traffic was incredible. And all these people just hard at work moving all these trees on, and everything just started happening. And I helped to bring plants onto the bridge, and then before I knew it, stuff was just appearing there. So there was a big truck that turned into a stage, there were pop-up kitchens appearing, yurts, and just everybody who was there was just chipping in and saying, "Okay, I'll help you with that." And it just all happened. It was amazing, and that was really what happened throughout the whole rebellion, is that people were there, they wanted to get involved, and things just happened. Everybody gave their time and their energy and their love. And before we knew it, we had this huge community on the bridge, and it was just amazing. So yeah, before any time at all, there was music happening from the stage, and there were people's assemblies every day, and families coming and just sitting on the bridge and having lunch, having picnics. There were people cooking, and constantly, new people coming to the cafe area and saying, "Okay, do you want me to help?" And then they'd sort of swap, and somebody else would volunteer in the kitchen for a while. So there'd always be food for free as well. You could give a donation if you wanted. Local businesses were donating lots of food to us. And yeah, it was just amazing how it happened. And on the first day, after dancing around with the samba band and just really taking it all in and all the excitement, we finally heard later on in the day that the police had come and they were going to start arresting people. I'd just gone to go and collect all of my camping equipment that was somewhere and to go and see another site, but as soon as I got the message, I ran back, and I really felt this loyalty to the bridge. I was like, "Oh no, I shouldn't have left, they're arresting people, what's all going on without me?" So I ran back, and and then lay on the floor with everybody else. And so it was one end of the bridge, we were calling it the sort of front line, but then we actually changed that to the heart line, which sounded much more fitting. And that's where the police started coming in quite thick and fast and arresting people. It was really late at night, actually, and quite a slow process. But there was a full choir behind us, so we were all singing, and the care of people was just amazing. All these people rocking up saying, "Look, I've got this stack of pizzas, are you hungry?" And just handing us loads of pizzas, and people going around with flasks and giving us tea. And so there were a group of us sat there, and when the police approached, if they'd say, "We'll give you a warning, if you don't move from here, we're going to arrest you." So at that point, people who didn't want to be arrested, who were just there showing their support, would get up and move on, and those who were willing would stay. And I think I was arrested just at the point when there was about maybe less than 20 people left in that space, after, already 20 or 30 had been arrested, I think. And I was feeling very calm, because we'd been singing, and actually we were singing at the time, and they came and gave me a caution, and I didn't respond, and I was lying down and letting my body feel very relaxed and sort of in quite a meditative state, which is what I'd learned really helps. And I was given this caution, just put a piece of paper on my stomach because I didn't take it, and I carried on singing, and then he came back, he gave me a minute, and he said, "Are you going to move?" And I sort of shook my head, which actually I probably shouldn't have done anything like that, I just ignored, but I carried on singing, sort of shook my head, and then he said, "Okay, I'm going to arrest you," and asked me if I wanted to get up, stand up and walk, and I shook my head. So 4 police officers had to pick me up and carry me away, and that was what a lot of people were doing, because it's not resisting, but it slows down the whole process for them, so we can keep the space for longer. Anyway, my experience of being arrested, I was actually quite ready for it, because I was very, very tired. It was late at night, and I was overwhelmed with everything going on. I was quite looking forward to just a bit of peace and quiet on my own. So I actually had quite a nice time in the cell and slept for a very, very long time. The police were really, really nice. And that was something as well that really was resonating across the whole thing. The police, they're just doing their job, but they really looked after us, actually. They didn't want us in the cells. They often have children and stuff as well. So that was my arrest, and then they released me under investigation. And as soon as I left the station, I was ages away in Kingston. They took me to. I got out, and there was somebody there waiting for me from XR, which was really nice. And then somebody riding on a bike as I was walking through the town and trying to figure out where the train station was said, "Oh, did you just come out? Are you from XR?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Is the bridge still there?" Because I really thought that it was going to have gone, because there were so few of us left when I was arrested, and only a few arrestees, that I thought that it was over. And he said, "Yeah, the bridge is still there." And oh God, I cried so much. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy, and that's all I wanted to do, was get back to the bridge. And so I did. I returned, and it was just amazing. And by that point, so day 2, hundreds of people had come, they'd heard about it, and they'd come, and the place it had a skate ramp. There was people spray painting semi-permanent or chalk spray on the floor, and there was art everywhere, and it was just, people were bringing the plants and trees as well. And it really was this huge, amazing community. And I ended up staying there for a further week. And actually, I really found sort of my purpose even more so after that. I didn't want to be arrested again. I thought, that's enough once. But actually, I ended up singing and doing quite a lot of de-escalating in those moments where things are quite tense and where there's a lot of arrests happening and the police are coming in. It's really good to have sort of music to the level of a heartbeat, to bring it down, to get people to join in and sit down on the floor, all sort of there together, holding strong. And for those people who are being arrested to have a really calm experience. And so that was sort of my role throughout the rest of the time there. But there were moments on that bridge that I'll never forget, and I really have to say as well that I've never ever felt this real sense of purpose before, and this feeling of love and just knowing that I'm in the right place, because it was all around. There was one day where a few of us were sitting listening to music, and somebody just passed an apple to some guy next to me, this fresh apple. He took a bite and he passed it to me, and I took a bite and then I passed it on, and it just went across all these beautiful strangers, and we just shared an apple, and that kind of is a small little thing, but that's what it was like on the bridge. You know, all just caring for each other and looking after each other, and stuff that we don't do in everyday life. You know, and then there's another moment as well which is really touching, which was when the police came in again, and this is a few days later, so they'd kind of figured out some tactics of how they were going to try and get us off the bridge. And they were going to take the stage, which was the permanent sort of structure in the middle. So they came in, I was singing at the time, and they came in, I had this, I think you might have seen it briefly on there actually, where there was this thick line of police. Suddenly they moved in very, very fast, regimented, and there were lots of people there. It was in the daytime, and they went all around me and blocked off this area. And I'd just done this training on de-escalation, and somebody had said a good idea for a song would be saying, peace, love, respect, and just that on repeat. So I started that because, you know, tensions was high, and so I invited everybody to sing with me, so there was just this chorus of people singing peace, love, respect. And then a guy from behind me just sort of whispered in my ear, oh, can you do that thing that we did with the police, singing about the police the other night, which was something else that happened. So I managed to layer over the top of the peace, love, respect. Police, we love you, we're doing it for your children to police. We love you, and so on. We were singing that for quite some time, and people were holding their hearts and closing their eyes, and it was just absolutely incredible. And the poor police, I mean, a lot of them were crying, and it was really, really hard for them because they were just doing what they had to do. You know, the orders that they were given, but a lot of them do have children, and they were really concerned. A lot of them really were on our side, even though they couldn't really share that with us. But yeah, moments like that were just really, really precious, and I think with all of this going on, we all understand the state of emergency, that we are in. It can get quite overwhelming sometimes, I think, and it can be really sad, and I'm up and down all the time, and I get really, you know, I have to grieve. And I think that's the thing, that we need space for that as well, and that's really important that we recognise that. And also we really need to be with other people that understand this whole process and that we can work together with. So I think that's the thing about Extinction Rebellion and the rebellion in April, was that finally there was real hope, because you're with all these incredible people that are making things move forward. They all believe that we can do something, and we're standing up for something that affects us all and is so important. And that's where the love and the community and the peace comes in, and where I felt, along with many other people, this real feeling that I've never ever felt before. And I can't wait until the next rebellion. It's going to be bigger and better and more important. We have to keep it going. And I think, you know, a bit more about that is going to be said afterwards, about what's next and how each one of us can do something locally and, you know, on a bigger scale, going to the rebellion as well in London. But yeah, I think at the People's Assembly at the end, you know, we'll be discussing some of these things, and if anybody has any questions, please feel free to come and say hi and ask me anything about it. I think the main thing is as well, if you do have the time, if you're not sort of helping locally, but you can spare the time to come up to the next rebellion, even if it's just a day, or if you can spare longer, brilliant. But, you know, you can get involved in any way. It's not about just going there and being arrested. There's people who are willing to do that. But there's so many different roles, and it's just an amazing experience with real purpose behind it. So I think that's probably me. Thank you.